Hello, beautiful Raisunda, and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk more about Freya and her lover Other. And in one of my last videos I shared that Other is divine madness itself, inspiration, passion. And that Freya is in love and is in partnership with divine madness itself. And what does that mean? How do we embody that in our life? And Other, this divine madness, inspiration, passion, is like the masculine muse. And it doesn't matter whether you're female or male or whatever. We have both aspects, the masculine and the feminine. And embracing this idea of the masculine muse, of divine madness, and being in love with that, in partnership with that, longing and following that. Freya would follow Other to try and find him. She would wander the world in search of Other, the divine madness of inspiration. And I want to tie this in connection with the rune Ansuz, because there are some sources that suggest that Other and Odin might be the same person, or that maybe Freya even had a love partnership with Odin as well. And Ansuz is associated with Odin. It is the breath of life. Ansuz, the breath of life. And what is the breath of life but breathing in the inspiration and the creation of each and every moment. And when you combine that with Freya and the breath and the inspiration and the beauty that comes with words, it's the breath of life, and it's the sharing of life, and it's the sharing of wisdom and words. And so with that, I will share a bit of my own expression of being in love with divine madness in this lifetime. I am a dreamer. I dream vividly, I dream deeply, and sometimes the dreams manifest into this reality. I also follow the divine invitation, inspiration, respiration, inhalation. Inspiration, inhalation, invitation. Divine madness and passion. One of the divine madness that happened in my life was I started a conservation breeding program for 5 species of endangered tiger geckos, and I did all the paperwork to transport them from a German zoo to the United States, and then I became a gecko mama of over 52 geckos that are still breeding and creating babies. And I was also studying, getting my degree, and working and collecting crickets from the post office and spending hours each night with these beautiful animals originating from Southeast Asia that are nocturnal and like miniature dragons. And so I was a gecko mama, gecko trainer, gecko Pokemon trainer for a while. And that was through following an invitation, through an inspiration, and following the threads of, okay, so how does one transport geckos from across the world and start a breeding program from scratch? How does one do that? But following the threads and breathing with it, breathing with the inspiration and the movement, and weaving with others who have knowledge of breeding programs, and learning from people from the zoo. And like I said, I'm a dreamer. And one day a friend told me about where they were living and what they were doing. And then I began to have dreams of this place that I've never been to, of people that I've never met. And then I received an invitation to go to this said place. And I went there, and it was of the dream. The people were the people in the dream. I followed a beautiful relationship because I had a dream of the person, and following those threads and weaving those threads of inspiration, which has been so colorful within my life. And each one of us has that. If we fall in love with divine madness, with the inspiration of each inhalation of every moment that contains the totality of creation. Each moment is like Gunungagap, the great void in which all possibilities exist at one time. Breathe into that. Fall in love with the divine madness and passion of your soul. Don't be afraid of it. Allow it to color your life in beautiful ways, with geckos, with land and mountains that call your name. Follow the weavings. Trust the breath of life. And allow yourself to look back and admire that of beauty. Even the ugly things, even the sacrifices, even the pain, the woundings, the hurt, the betrayal. There is such a thing as sacred ugly. That is part of the weaving too. And we are here on this earth to elevate love, to follow our joy and our passions. And with that, we are given the opportunity in each and every moment with the breath, with Ansuz, the god of wisdom, with the goddess of beauty and of life. So embrace that, my friends. Share your stories, share your words, share your divine madness moments. Share it in the comments with us. I would love to read them. I felt inspired to share a couple of mine. I would love to hear yours. That love relationship that happens within us, Freya and Odr, are the archetypes that live within us that we have the ability to embody. Marry them and see what beauty unfolds. Tack ska du ha.